Oi, galera. Bem-vindo de volta ao Bryce and Tim Show. Hoje temos um episódio muito especial para vocês, onde entrevistamos nosso amigo Jonas Tavares. Jonas tem uma história incrível, desde crescer numa favela do Recife até ganhar bolsa de estudo que lhe permitiram morar no mundo todo e até apareceu no Gshow. Sua história de sucesso, motivação e inspiração. Espero que vocês gostem.
Jonas Tavares is a world traveler who has a lot of really cool experiences, and we met him through a friend of ours online.
Hobson.
Hobson.
So Hobson, thank you for the
Thank you for shouting him out. But we're so happy to have him here with us for this podcast. This is another episode completely in English for you to train your English ear and to get better at listening. So, Jonas, where are you from originally?
Recife.
Recife,
Recife, yes.
Pernambuco.
Pernambuco.
Great. So, where you lived, was it something? I mean, was it easy to come by like a plane ticket to travel the world? Could you afford that when you?
No, I was not very able to afford anything. I was really poor. I was just, I would say, lucky, but also really ambitious. So I just seized the opportunities and the scholarships and the chances that came my way. Yeah.
Great.
So did you always know that I'm gonna travel everywhere that I can, whatever opportunity, or did it kind of fall in your lap?
It's always been a dream of mine, to travel and get to know other cultures. But I would say since I was very little, I would say 8 years old, I started to learn English by myself. So I've always been passionate about languages and English, in particular because of videos on YouTube, music, and I would see vlogs from Brazilians who would go to the US, Canada, other countries, and being on exchange programs. And I always thought that was very neat, and I would like to do that one day. But then, as you asked me, I would never be able to afford those things. So it's always been a very distant dream of mine. But I kept learning English, and then in high school, I got this opportunity to come to the US for the first time. It was a governmental funded scholarship, and so a group of myself and other 17 students from my hometown came to the US, and we went to Minnesota. So it was the first time that I left Brazil. I've never been on a plane. I was scared to death. But then I got this opportunity. Actually, my dream was about to be fulfilled. So I'm really glad that I got that opportunity in high school, when I never imagined that one day I would have the opportunity to do such thing.
That's crazy. So you and 17 other kids, did you all go to the same school?
Yeah, same school.
Really?
Yeah, it's a huge program. In fact, over dozens of public school students in Pernambuco. So it's a state program. And so when I came, it was a group of 18 Brazilians from Pernambuco.
And did you guys have host families that you stayed with all in the same town?
So it was an intercâmbio exchange program, a semester abroad. And so we came January 2015 for the spring semester. And we are from Recife, northeast of Brazil, which is really warm tropical weather.
Yeah.
And then we flew to Minnesota in the
snow.
winter when I've never got to wear a long sleeve shirt ever in my life. And then I came to Minnesota, and we left the airport, and Celsius was below zero.
That's crazy.
30 degrees Fahrenheit.
Were you prepared at all
Yes,
for that?
yeah,
You
because
had
I knew that I knew what was waiting for me. The harsh cold of Minnesota and the snow, and I was really excited not to see snow for the first time and experience the cold in a different country. It was really neat. But then after a couple of weeks, I was like, well, I'm tired of this. When the snow turns into brown and muddy black.
Yeah, it's pretty in pictures, but once you're
it's
there,
pretty in pictures, and it was really amazing just to experience it. But then the cold is actually really harsh in Minnesota. But I had a great time. I fulfilled one of my dreams, one of my biggest dreams, to do what I've always seen only in videos. With these students going to other countries and doing an exchange program. So I had that opportunity, that I never thought I would be able to. So thankfully, thankful to this program and this opportunity that came my way, I was able to seize it by studying hard, and by being good at English, I would say.
Yeah. So you say you had to be like very competitive and
Right. 'Cause
seize the
it was
opportunity.
a scholarship, right?
How
competitive
difficult it
scholarship.
is for like students to do in a foreign exchange like that, intercâmbio.
And there are different programs, right,
Yeah.
all around the world, and that are the Brazilians can apply, and other programs in Brazil as well. But in this program that I participated in was specific to my state, Pernambuco, and for the students of the, the public school in Pernambuco. So it is very competitive. You have to go through an English course, and then at some point you take an exam, and then you compete with other people who apply.
So you have to already have like a base level
Right.
of English.
Uh-huh.
Have to know all that.
Mhm.
And so you left Brazil for the first time when you were how old?
I was 17.
17.
Mhm.
And since then, have you gone back at all?
Yes. So as I said, I was there just for 1 semester, but then I used to say that one opportunity was the opportunity that opened the doors for me for a world of possibilities and other opportunities that, again, I was just really happy for that opportunity to, finally realize my dream. But then I came back to Brazil, but before I came back to Brazil, it's a long story how I got here to Branson. But I was fortunate enough that in Minnesota I attended this international high school, and there were students from like over 50 countries, I believe.
Wow.
In fact, there was
Wow.
like a handful of American students only. So it was like international curriculum, like IB, something like that.
Okay.
So international school, right? And it was an international prep school, like for students that wanted to, do an exchange program here and then prep for college and whatnot. But then when I was there, this school was expanding, all over the world, and they opened like American branches in France, Singapore, and then China, in Shanghai. So they were about to inaugurate this school in Shanghai. So they wanted to diversify the student body because they would have a bunch of Chinese students and some South Korean, some Asian students, and they wanted to bring some foreign students.
Yeah.
And so it was the perfect spot because they had students from over 50 countries, and so they offered full ride scholarships to go to China. And I was like, well, I'm here, I'm going back home. I have to try it.
Yeah.
And so I did. I applied. I did the interviews, exams, whatever. Went back to Brazil, and then I received the news that I was one of the 4 scholarship recipients
That's
to go to China.
crazy. So do you know how
Yeah.
many people applied for that position?
Yeah, I did, well, a few dozens of students, but it was only for 4 scholarships.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
yeah, I know another student from Russia, one from Slovakia, one American student. I don't recall the other one, but then I got the scholarship.
Yeah.
And so it was for, I was in Minnesota for the spring semester, got back to Brazil, received the news, and then got myself ready to go to the other side of the world for the fall semester. And so I did that, right? Full ride scholarship. Had just to, raise some money for the flight tickets and things like that because they covered everything else. So it was a little tough for me.
Yeah.
But I was able to, I had time, and then I embarked to Shanghai. Yeah.
What did your mom think about all of this? Like,
Right,
whenever you're like,
yeah.
I'm going to China, Mom. I
Yeah.
just got back from the U.S.
Right, she was, everybody was surprised and shocked, but also happy for me, right? Well,
Yeah.
you just did that thing, and it was your dream, and you got it. You got another opportunity. So just be careful, but
Yeah.
go and explore the world, have a good time, learn something.
Right.
And then in the following semester, I went to China all by myself. I didn't speak a word of Chinese. But then, as I explained, it was an American school in China, so all of the teachers were from the United States.
Okay.
The curriculum was all in English. So I stayed there. I got the scholarship for 1 semester. I ended up staying there for the entire school year because
Really?
that was my senior year of high school. So I stayed in China for longer than I had been in Minnesota. So I stayed there for the full year. Graduated from high school, have my international high school diploma. And then the other curious and interesting thing is how I found out about the college here in this area where you guys are from.
Yeah.
And I got back because I finished high school. And as all of the teachers were from the United States, one of them, the dean of students actually, was from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
So it's part of the Ozarks region
Yeah.
here in the U.S.
Yeah.
in the Midwest. So he knew about College of the Ozarks. It's a very interesting and unique college here in the U.S. where they don't charge tuition like other colleges. And my teacher knew that I was on a scholarship in Minnesota and then in China, and he knew my plans of coming back to the U.S. and for college, but I was not never able to afford anything, and I was looking for scholarships. And so he told me about College of the Ozarks, about the work program where students work for their education rather than paying financially.
Mm-hmm.
So
just for the viewers, like, what do you mean whenever you say they work for their education? Like, what do you do to pay?
Right.
Like, you work to pay for
Yeah.
it. So you work on campus.
Right. Yeah. So College of the Ozarks is located here in the Branson area in Missouri. It's a very small college, but it's known as Hard Work University, because all students, whether they are foreigners or locals, they work on campus, an amount of hours per week, and then some programs and things like that. So yeah, there are over like 100 workstations on campus, and I worked at the restaurant, so that's how I paid for my education. When I heard about the college, I went back to Brazil, took a gap year. I applied for several other colleges, got accepted into 7 of them with really good scholarships. But then, my goal was to get into College of the Ozarks, C of O.
Yeah.
Because
you debt free.
Yeah, because even if I got like 80% scholarship from one school, I would still have to pay, and with the dollar exchange to Brazil, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, college here is like an insane amount of money just for like people who don't understand.
Yeah.
The amount that you have to pay to go to school here is crazy. To be able to get education for free is a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Even for Americans, like people go into so much debt here
Yeah.
to go and get an education. So
Right.
so yeah, that's College of the Ozarks is a big thing. And that was probably huge for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were really
and it was
excited.
not even like a scholarship, right? I mean, I just chose it because for one thing, I wanted to pursue my post-secondary education. I was looking for scholarships, but then when I got this opportunity, even though I didn't get a scholarship, I knew that I would be able to go through because I had the work program that would offset the costs. Which it's really interesting, just like when I heard about it, I looked into it, and you can find out more. But it's just a unique school, and I got a great education there. So that's how I came back to the U.S. for the second time after hearing about it in China. But then I went back to Brazil. I actually taught English for a while. While I took a gap year, was preparing myself for the TOEFL exam, ACT, things like that, and the application process for College of the Ozarks. But then after a year, when I applied, I was fortunate to get the news that I got in.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I just want to rewind a little bit. A lot of people don't understand, they don't wrap their mind around how difficult it is to go from where you were originally to all these different places in the world. We have a little taste of what that's like, going from not just financially, but like socially and mentally, how you pick yourself up from one country and go to another one and try to just blend in. We lived in Brazil for a little bit, and that was really hard at the beginning. We were surrounded by mostly just Brazilians, and you coming here for your exchange was just surrounded by Americans, right? Walk us through kind of what you were thinking, what you felt. Did you ever think about just going back home because it was just really tough and stressful?
Right. That there is that part that virtually not many people talk about it, but it is tough. I've just been always hungry to have that experience, and I've always learned about the American lifestyle and culture, and through videos or music or envisioning myself doing that. I had a local host family from Minnesota. They're really friendly and helping me through tough times. But I was there for a very short period of time, 5 months ish, like a semester. And then the school that I attended, I had the other Brazilians. and other students from different countries, which was really good. So I could learn more about more cultures, not only the American culture, and then make friends from all over the world. So I never felt alone, and there's always something to do, and I got to explore.
Yeah.
I was really young and didn't think much about negative things. I was just
That's
very
great.
ambitious, and just hungry for experiences.
That's a great
Yeah.
mindset. It doesn't matter where you are. There's always something to
Right.
do, and people, I guess, can get
Right.
kind of down like, oh, I'm not learning English fast enough. But you had a great mindset. What can you tell people that are maybe in that situation right now where they are trying to learn a different language, or maybe they're already in a different country doing
Right.
their intercambio, and
Mhm.
what can you say to them to help them have like the right mindset?
Enjoy the journey, right? Everybody's pace of learning or progress is different, so you just find joy in the process of doing things, right? You may have like an experience that's just one time, so just seize the opportunity to have fun and do your best, to one step at a time. If you're better than yesterday and then tomorrow being better than today, then that counts. A little bit by little bit is better than nothing. So just having a positive mindset, being proud of yourself, right, and being hungry, right, just wanting more, and it is tough. I understand that, and actually after years, when I was back here for the second time, and I've been here for 6 years since I came for the second and last time. I've been through some rough times too, and maybe just after things sink in, and sometimes when I feel alone or just maybe thinking that you're not worth it, it is it's part of us being humans. We're never perfect, or we go through rough times, but you're able to pick yourself up by having a strong mindset and a positive attitude, and just know that you are fodder, and that you deserve you deserve it. And if you're never compare yourself to others. You may be, everybody's in their own little world, in their own their own selves, and so everybody has a different way, a unique way to learn things, or have a unique experience. So just be yourself.
Yeah, the person that probably will criticize you the most is your own
Right.
mind, right? So those opportunities that you got so many of, they just come to people who have the right attitude,
Right.
who can realize that they make mistakes, they just move past it,
Right.
and are just hungry for more.
Right.
Just trying to get to the next thing,
Right.
and you'll eventually end up somewhere really, really blessed, and you made it all the way to Missouri, where you're living now.
And when I was saying, enjoy your journey, like I was enjoying myself in Minnesota, and I had never seen like the layout of where it would be today, 10 years from that time. I just had a great time, and luck is also part of it, right? And I never imagined that when I went to Minnesota, I would compete for this scholarship to China, and then in China learn about college here in Missouri. So it was just all part of the process, and I was blessed and lucky too, to be able to get those opportunities. But then if the opportunities come your way and you're not prepared, or you don't try, then you never get it. And I'm sharing like a really positive and successful story, but I also have like lots of failures in the process. College that I applied and didn't get in, or just different rough, difficult moments. But as I said, just pick yourself up, and a new day is a new beginning, and with a positive mindset and attitude, you got to move forward.
Yeah, like you said, even when you're failing, there's always something to do.
Right. Yeah.
There's always something to do.
And all failures are lessons too. So.
Yeah. And now you're here and you work for the city government.
Yeah, not the city, the Chamber of Commerce, Câmara de Comércio. So it's a organization entity here in the area, in the Bryce area, and I get to work with economic development. So with workforce development, most specifically, it's a huge entity. So there are people who work with like tourism or marketing, things like that, membership engagement, and I work in the economic development realm of things.
So basically, you work to help boost the economy here in Branson.
Yeah, and it's a small town, tourism-based economy. The demand and supply, right? The shows are busy. Millions of people come to Branson, and some employers, struggle to find employees, to find staff. So, with my department, we help employers staff up. So, by hosting different hiring events or posting jobs online at no cost to them, and also working with different international programs, with the J1 program. Like J1 is a type of visa that actually a lot of Brazilians, participate in that income. That's one of the ways that they come to the United States. And Branson is a hot spot for J1s in the summer here in the West. Right? Summer in Brazil is the other, is opposite, so we don't get any Brazilians in the area. But Brazilians also get the opportunity to come to the West in the winter months here in the U.S. And they go to northern states like Colorado, New York, and states like that.
So when you came here for the first time, you also winter months you came very extreme. Where we are right now isn't that cold, but when you get to like Minnesota, New York, that is a freezing temperature. So I just want to put myself in like the shoes of maybe some Brazilian that wants to travel. Maybe they don't have that much money, but they want to do like some sort of program like J1. What are kind of the steps, since you work a lot with those people, what are the steps that they have to go through to get that?
Right. As I'm here locally in the U.S., working with like the visa sponsors and the agencies that bring these students, I don't know, the nitty-gritties and where they go in Brazil, for example. But I know that they are designated visa sponsors through the Department of State here in the U.S. that designates, like, for example, different agencies in Brazil. And I don't recall the name, their names. But there are agencies in Brazil that work with the J1 visa. So it's just a matter of finding an agency that you can apply through. And so with that program, you are able to come to the U.S. to work and travel. It's a work and travel program, and you get the opportunity, to live here in the U.S. for 3 to 4 months, and experience the United States.
Very cool. So thank you so much for coming here and having this conversation with us, Jonas Tavares. Your experiences are very insightful. It makes me want to seize the next opportunity. Get that travel visa, work visa, school visa, go live in China, go live wherever, and just have all these cool stories. But I'm also kind of inspired to, no matter what happens, even if I fail, there's still something to do. So thank you so much, and thank you for watching.
Thank you. Valeu.
Valeu.